Very good.
Hare Krishna.
All right. So you remember where we left from yesterday?
We are going to start with Smaranam.
Yes, but let me read the verse back again.
Yes.
The Sanskrit translation.
Mm-hmm.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th Canto, Chapter 5, text 23-24. Shri Praradu Vacha, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Smaranam Pada Sevanam, Archanam Bandhanam Dasyam, Sakyam Atmani Vedanam, Iti Pum Sarpita Vishnu, Bhaktischennava Lakshana, Kriyata Bhagavati Adha, Tanmanyeditam Uttamam. Prahlad Maharaj said, hearing and chanting about the transcendental holy name, form, qualities, paraphernalia, and pastimes of Lord Vishnu, remembering them, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, offering the Lord respectful worship with 16 titles of paraphernalia, offering prayers to the Lord, becoming a servant, considering the Lord one's best friend, and surrendering everything unto him. In other words, serving him with the body, mind, and words. These 9 processes are accepted as pure devotional service. One who has dedicated his life to the service of Krishna through these 9 methods shall be understood to be the most learned person, for he has acquired complete knowledge. Yeah, we are left on page 230, starting with Smaranam. At the end of the page, Smaranam.
Okay, I have a Smaranam, but I have the red Bhagavatam.
The red button. Okay.
Yes. But I'm there.
Count 7 pages. Count 7 pages on of the purport.
Yeah. Do you want me to stop before Padasevanam?
The 7th page at the end is a Smaranam.
Yes, I'm there.
Okay.
Smaranam. Okay. Smaranam. After one regularly performs the processes of hearing and chanting, and after the core of one's heart is cleansed, Smaranam, remembering, is recommended. In Srimad Bhagavatam 2.1.11, Sukadeva Goswami tells King Parikshit, Itan nirvidyamananam ichatam akuto bhayam yoginam nirtitam hare namanu kirtanam. O King, for great yogis who have completely renounced all material connections, for those who desire all material enjoyment, and for those who are self-satisfied by dint of transcendental knowledge, constant chanting of the holy name of the Lord is recommended. According to different relationships with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there are varieties of Namanu Kirtanam, chanting of the holy name, and thus, according to different relationships and mellows, there are 5 kinds of remembering. These are as follows: conducting research into the worship of a particular form of the Lord, concentrating the mind on one subject and withdrawing the mind's activities of thinking, feeling, and willing from all other subjects, concentrating upon a particular form of the Lord. This is called meditation. Concentrating one's mind continuously on the form of the Lord. This is called Dhruvanusmriti, or perfect meditation. And awakening a longing for concentration upon a particular form. This is called Samadhi, or trance. Mental concentration upon particular pastimes of the Lord in particular circumstances is also called remembrance. Therefore, Samadhi Trance can be possible in 5 different ways in terms of one's relationship. Specifically, the trance of devotees on the stage of neutrality is called mental concentration. Pada Sevanam. According to one's taste and strength, hearing, chanting, and remembrance may be followed by Pada Sevanam. One obtains the perfection of remembering when one constantly thinks of the lotus feet of the Lord. Being intensely attached to thinking of the Lord's lotus feet is called Pada Sevanam. When one is particularly adherent to the process of Pada Sevanam, this process gradually includes other processes, such as seeing the form of the Lord, touching the forms of the Lord, circumambulating the forms of the temple of the Lord, visiting such places as Jagannath Puri, Dwarka, and Mathura to see the Lord's form, and bathing in the Ganges or Jamuna. Bathing in Ganges and serving pure Vaishnava are also known as Tadiya Upasanam. This is also Pada Sevanam. The word Tadiya means in relationship with the Lord. Service to the Vaishnava, Tulsi, Ganges, and Yamuna are included in Pada Sevanam. All these processes of Pada Sevanam have one advance in spiritual life very quickly. Archanam. After Pada Sevanam comes the process of Archanam, worship of the deity. If one is interested in the process of Archanam, one must positively take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master and learn the process from him. There are many books for Archana, especially Narada Pancharatra. In this age, the Pancharatra system is particularly recommended for Archana, deity worship. There are 2 systems of Archana, the Bhagavata system and the Pancharatrika system. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, there is no recommendation for Pancharatrika worship because in this Kali Yuga, even without deity worship, everything can be perfectly performed simply through hearing, chanting, remembering, and worship of the lotus feet of Lord. Rupa Goswami states, Sri Vishnu Pade Prakshit Avavad Vajase Kirtane Prahlad Smarane Tad Angri Bhajane Lakshmi Pritu Pujane Akrurastu Avivadane Kapipati Dasyeta Sakir Juna Sarvasastam Nivedena Balir Abhut Krishna Pratir Esham Param. Parikshit Maharaj attained salvation simply by hearing, and Sukadeva Goswami attained salvation simply by chanting. Prahlad Maharaj attained salvation by remembering the Lord. The goddess of fortune, Lakshmi Devi, attained perfection by worshipping the Lord's lotus feet. Priti Maharaj attained salvation by worshipping the deity of the Lord. Akrura attained salvation by offering prayers. Hanuman by rendering service. Arjuna by establishing friendship with the Lord. And Bali Maharaj by offering everything to the service of the Lord. All these great devotees served the Lord according to a particular process, but every one of them attained salvation and became eligible to return home back to Godhead. This is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam.
Let
It
me.
is therefore
Okay, please finish the other paragraph.
It is therefore recommended that initiated devotees follow the principle of Narada Pancharatra by worshiping the deity in the temple, especially for householder devotees who are opulent in material possessions. The path of deity worship is strongly recommended. An opulent householder devotee who does not engage his hard-earned money in the service of the Lord is called a miser. One should not engage paid brahmanas to worship the deity. If one does not personally worship the deity, but engages paid servants instead, he is considered lazy, and his worship in the deity is called artificial. An opulent householder can collect luxurious paraphernalia for the deity worship, and consequently, for householder devotees, for the worship of the deity is compulsory. In our Krishna conscious movement, there are brahmacharis, grihasthas, vanaprasthas, and sannyasis, but the deity worship in the temple should be performed especially by the householders. The brahmacharis can go on with the sannyasis to preach, and the vanaprasthas should prepare themselves for the next status of renounced life, sannyas. Grihastha devotees, however, are generally engaged in material activities, and therefore, if they do not take to daily worship, they falling down impositively assured. Daily worship means following the rules and regulations precisely. That will keep one set in devotional service. Generally, householders have children, and then the wives of the householders should be engaged in caring for the children, just as women acted as teachers care for the children in a nursery school.
Very good. Thank you. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkest of ignorance, and my spiritual master Srila Prabhupada opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my humble respect to Obeisance and to Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So, very interesting that Parikshit Maharaj attained salvation simply by hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam. He was at the verge of death. He was given only 7 days to live. And he left his kingdom, renounced everything, and went to sit at the bank of the Ganges to ask the sages how to prepare for death. So he finally met Shukadeva Goswami, and Shukadeva Goswami advised him to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. So by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, he attained perfection in his life. He attained salvation. He was completely fearless. At the time of that, he had no fear at all. He was fully surrendered to Krishna. So he attained perfection. Go back home, back to Godhead. And Shukadeva Goswami attained perfection simply by reciting Srimad Bhagavatam. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he recommends 5 very important items in the devotional service. Bhagavatam Shravanam, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. Nama Kirtan, chanting the holy name of the Lord. Murtira Shradhaya Seva, worshipping the deity with faith, that is the Lord himself, not different. Sadhu Sangha, Vaishnava Seva, serving the Vaishnavas. Mathura Vasa, residing in a holy place like Mathura, or make your home a temple. It's a holy place. The Lord is there in the house. If you have the Bhagavatam in your home, it's no different from having the Lord. So it's very important. All devotees should have deities at home, and also have all the Srimad Bhagavatam collection. They should have it at home and read from it daily. That's very, very important. So, and Prahlad Maharaj attained salvation by remembering the Lord, by meditating on the Lord continuously. He attained perfection. The goddess of fortune, Lakshmi Devi, attained perfection by worshiping the lotus feet of the Lord. I mean, she was always massaging the lotus feet of the Lord. That's called Pada Sevana, serving the lotus feet of the Lord. Prabhupada saying that serving the devotees is also Pada Sevana, because the devotees are always at the lotus feet of the Lord. They take in shelter at his feet. So serving devotees is also serving the lotus feet of the Lord. No? So it is very much recommended. Prithu Maharaj attained salvation by worshiping the deity of the Lord. So especially for Grihastha devotees, it is very much recommended worshiping the deity at home. To have always present that the Lord is the owner of the house. All the food should be offered first to him. This kind of consciousness is very important. So this is the spirit of material enjoyment will diminish by having the Lord in the center of the house, and by following the rules, regulation of worshiping the deity, waking up early, offering the arti, the food, that makes the life purified. So it is a very important thing to do. And with faith, not just like something mechanical. No, you have to do with faith. This is the Lord, the present is here. It's no different. Huh? Tell you one story about faith in the deity of the Lord. Once, Vaishnavi from Bengal, she had she got initiated by bona fide guru, and she started worshiping Gornitai. The deity is Gornitai. And she had no interest in getting married or anything. So she asked permission from her guru to go live in Vrindavan, and he gave her permission. So until her old age, she was serving Gornitai, and sometime, for example, they would tell her in dreams what they want. One day in the dream, they told her they wanted the sandals. They didn't have sandals. Usually you put sandals. But they told her we want, and she was arguing with them. Why you want sandal for? Where are you gonna go? I'm bringing you everything you need, all the food you need, all the clothes, everything I'm bringing. So why you're asking for sandals? No, I'm not gonna give you. You want to go around here and there? I can't allow that. So next day morning, one lady came to her place, and she brought sandals for the deity. She said she had a dream they ordered her to bring this. So she was, okay, you always get what you want. You are the supreme controller. There's nothing I can do. Anyways, she served them with so much love all her life. And then when she was very old, she could not continue every day. So she asked one Brahmana to help her in the worshipping. And was winter time, so she instructed him that at night you must put a ghee lamp next to the deity so they will be warmed up during winter. It's cold time. Vrindavan is very cold in winter. So he said, yes, of course, I will do that. Next morning, she came to the temple and started chastising the Brahmana. You forgot to put the lamps next to the Lord. How you could be so irresponsible? How do you know? They came to me and told me in a dream that you forgot that they got a cold. Come on, deities can get cold. You don't believe? Okay. She went to the altar, took a sari, put it on the nose of Goranga, and told him to blow. And when he blew, and the sound came, something came from his nose, and all the room was fragrant with perfume of roses and jasmine, and all the. And then the Brahma realized, oh, she's a great devotee. He fell at her feet, asked forgiveness. He was crying, So she developed a love as a mother for them, Vatsalya Bhav is called. So then they liked that. There is another story like that, similar, with Gornitai deities also. What was his name? Bamshivadana Thakur. Bamshivadana? Bamshidas Babaji. Bamshidas Babaji. He also had Gornitai deities, and he will travel with them wherever he will go. And he will cook for them every day. He has two pots, one for cooking for Gauranga, one for Nityananda. And he only will eat whatever he offered to them, he will eat as Mahaprasad. That's it. He will not eat anywhere here and there. But one day a thief broke into his room and stole the pots. So he stood in front of a deity. He told them, "You're also guilty because you allowed this to happen. You're supreme controller. Nothing happened without your sanction. So you allowed this to happen. You're guilty. Now I'm not gonna cook. You're gonna starve. I'm gonna starve. It's up to you. If you want to eat, you have to bring your pot back." So after 2-3 days, the pot of Nityananda was returned. So he was cooking only for Nityananda and offered only to Nityananda. And Chaitanya was looking at the food, and told him, if you want your food, you have to bring your pot. After an hour, the pot was returned. Like that. And sometimes he would chastise his deity, he would take a stick and threaten them, The devotee were afraid, They do not understand, So, and he will tell them, did you hear what they told me? The devotee didn't hear anything. Only he will hear, They told me that I'm too old, that I should sit and chant only, and they will go and bring the boga, whatever is needed. I will break their legs if they dare to go out of this room with this stick. I'm not that old yet. I can still go and beg for them. That was his love, like a father want to maintain his children, and they will reciprocate with him that love, like that. Once Srila Bhaktisiddhanta went to visit him. He was at the time of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, Prabhupada's guru. And he smiled, he said, oh, Gopi is coming. Well, Radharani will come after her. He saw that, he knew that Bhaktisiddhanta was a Madhurya Rasa. He noticed. And sometime Srila Bhaktisiddhanta would send his disciple to bring a remnant of his prasad, for him, for the devotees. But after some time, he told him not to go, because you may misunderstand his feeling. You may commit offense. Better don't go too close. He has his own way of worshiping, very intimate, very familiar, like that. So we can hear so many amazing stories like that. Another story of deity worship I remember is one devotee who worshipped his deity in Mathura. And every day he will, before sunrise, at dark, he will go take bath in Yamuna and bring water to wash, do abhishekam to his deity with this Yamuna water. Every day he will do that. But one day he woke up, before sunrise. Usually the devotee at least wake up before 1.5 hours before sunrise. It's called Brahma Muhurta, the spiritual time. So he saw that there was a storm. It was rain and windy, and he said, "Wow, how?" And after a little while, he thought, "I have to go. I can't, I have to bring water for Yamuna to do abhishekam." So he went in the middle of the storm. No, he went in the middle of the storm and took bath and brought water, and the rain stopped, but there was fog everywhere. He could not see his own hand. The fog was so dense. So how can I go back home? I can't. He didn't know how to reach home. And the time for doing the abhishekam is coming to end. Suddenly a little boy appeared there with a lamp, oil lamp. He said, "Oh, I know where you live. Come, I will show you." So he guided him, And when they almost reaching home, the fog dissipated. And "Oh, thank you, boy, for bringing me home." And he turned to go the stairs, and he turned his back. The boy disappeared. Then he understood this is Krishna who came to guide him, to help him in his service. So we see, deities are not status; they are living, they're alive. They accept the service when it is offered with love. So it's very important for married devotee to do daily deity worship, and pay obeisance, offer prayers, offer the food. Very important, no? So, Akrura attained salvation by offering prayers. When Akrura went to Vrindavan, he arrived there and he saw the footprint of Krishna on the sand. He fell there offering obeisance and offering prayers, beautiful prayers. And he attained perfection by offering heartfelt prayers to Krishna, no? We can offer prayers also from our heart, whatever we feel we want to. If you have any thing that you need to tell the Lord, He's in the heart, He will hear you. You can also offer prayers from Brahma Samhita or different Prahlad Maharaj prayers, that also is accepted. But you also can sincerely, pray to the Lord for His mercy, for His kindness, for His protection. And Hanuman, he achieved perfection by rendering service. When Hanuman returned after Ramchandra killed Ravan, he came back with devotees, monkey devotees, back to Ayodhya. So, and all the inhabitants of Ayodhya, they put lamps all over the houses, that's a Diwali, celebration. Anyway, so, and Sita Devi was in charge of the giving service to everyone for the Lord. So Hanuman was the last one to come, to be called. And she told Hanuman, very sorry, but most of the services are covered. But here is the list of the services that are covered. Any service which is not there, you can do. So Hanuman didn't find a single service that is not covered. Everything was covered, every single thing. So he has to make up some one service. He made one service. He said, I want to do the service that every time the Lord yawned, I will snap my finger in front of his mouth to prevent an evil spirit to come or something like that. So that was a service, and that's what that meant. He was always by the side of the Lord. That's what he wanted. But one day, Sita Devi came to talk with her husband, and she told Hanuman, I need to speak privately. Please wait outside. He said, I will be in the garden. If you need me, call me. And after a while, then Ramchandra's brother came, Lakshman, Shatrughna, Bharat, like that. And they came to speak with the Lord. And also they talking nicely, everybody expressing their feelings and everything. And suddenly Lord Ramchandra started to yawn. But he could not close his mouth back. He couldn't speak. The yawning would not end. When you're yawning, you can't speak. Isn't people in the West, at least they cover. Some educated people, they cover. Sometimes devotee asks me, why you snap your finger when you yawn? I tell them because of remembering Hanuman pastime. What pastime? So I tell them. So they call doctors of the palace, please help the Lord. The doctor didn't know what to do, taking pulse and tried to, he could not, do anything. So finally Sita Devi remembered, oh, please call Hanuman. Hanuman must come. So they called Hanuman. Hanuman, one job came there. Immediately snapped his finger. Only then the Lord could close his mouth. So what the Lord wanted to show, that he's dependent on the love of his devotee. Out of love, they want to serve him. So he enjoys this dependence on his pure devotees, no? And Hanuman, although it's a little service, not so big service, but since offered with so much love, the Lord enjoys so much, no? Okay. All right, so and Bali Maharaj, Arjuna, of course, he established a friendly relationship with the Lord, very close friendship he had with Krishna. Once they were sleeping in a room, and while sleeping, Krishna will, in his sleep, he called Arjun, Arjun, Arjun. And Arjun will call Krishna, Krishna, why are you sleeping? They were so much close friends, to each other. You know. In the Bhagavad Gita also Krishna say, I'm equal to everyone, but those who approach me to render service, I consider them friends. I'm friend to them, they are friend to me. So unless one become, in that sense, friend of Krishna, he can't understand Bhagavad Gita. This is about devotional service, to accept the Lord as our best friend or best well-wisher. So, and Bali Maharaj, he offered everything in the service of Krishna. Everything. He surrendered everything. Remember the past time, Sukracharya was against that he will give anything to the Lord. But he said, no, I made a promise. I can't go back. He disobeyed his guru because Shukracharya was thinking about his own personal material well-being. He said, because Bali Maharaj was maintaining him and his family. If he lose everything, I also lose everything. So he was calculating materially. But Bali Maharaj was more devoted. He thought, if the Lord comes to ask me everything, why should I deny him? He's my Lord. So in that way, Bali Maharaj became one of the great Mahajanas, 12 Mahajanas. By teaching one should not follow a deviant guru who goes against devotional service to the Lord, who's materially attached to material things, material enjoyment. Anyway, that's a great teaching of Bali Maharaj. I mean, with 2 steps, he covered the whole universe, Vamanadev. And he arrested Bali Maharaj. You promised 3 steps, and you are not fulfilling your promise, therefore I am arresting you. Bali Maharaj was afraid that he could not fulfill his promise to give 3 steps of the Lord. Then he surrendered, said, my dear Lord, your 3rd step you can put on my head. So he not only surrendered his belonging, he surrendered himself to the Lord. And that's pure devotional service. Surrender oneself. So let us continue reading. Usha Mohini Mataji.
Yes. Grihastha devotees must adopt the Archana Vidhi, or daily worship, according to the suitable arrangement and directions given by the spiritual master. Regarding those unable to take to the daily worship in the temple, there is the following statement in the Agni Purana. Any householder devotee circumstantially unable to worship the deity must at least see the deity worship, and in this way he may achieve success also. The special purpose of the daily worship is to keep oneself always pure and clean. Grihastha devotees should be actual examples of cleanliness. Deity worship should be continued along with hearing and chanting. Therefore, every mantra is preceded by the word Namaha. In all the mantras, there are specific potencies of which the Grihastha devotees must take advantage. There are many mantras preceded by the word Namaha. But if one chants the holy name of the Lord, he receives the result of chanting Namaha many times. By chanting the holy name of the Lord, one can reach the platform of love of God. One might ask, then what is the necessity of being initiated? The answer is that even though the chanting of the holy name is sufficient to enable one to progress in spiritual life to the standard of love of God, love of Godhead, one is nonetheless susceptible to contamination because of possessing a material body. Consequently, special stress is given to the Archana deity. One should therefore regularly take advantage of both the Bhagavata process and the Panchakratic process. Deity worship has two divisions, namely pure and mixed with fruitive activities. For one who studies, deity worship is compulsory. Observing the various steps of festivals such as Sri Janmashtami, Ramanavami, and Nrsimha Chaturdashi is also included in the process of deity worship. In other words, it is compulsory for householders, devotees, to observe these festivals. Now let us discuss the offenses in deity worship. The following are offenses. A. To enter the temple with shoes or being carried in a palanquin. Not to observe the prescribed festival. To avoid offering obeisances in front of the deity. To offer prayers in an unclean state, not having washed one's hands after eating. To offer obeisances with one hand. To circumambulate directly in front of the deity. To spread one's legs before the deity. To sit before the deity while holding one's ankles with one's hand. To lie down before the deity. To eat before the deity. To speak lies before the deity. To address someone loudly before the deity. To talk nonsense before the deity. To cry before the deity. To argue before the deity. To chastise someone before the deity. To show someone favor before the deity. To use harsh words before the deity. To wear a wooden blanket before the deity. To blaspheme someone before the deity. To worship someone else before the deity. To use vulgar language before the deity. To pass air before the deity. To avoid very opulent worship of the deity, even though one is able to perform it. To eat something not offered to the deity. To avoid offering fresh fruit to the deity according to the season. To offer food to the deity which has already been used or from which it has first been given to others. In other words, foodstuffs not be distributed to anyone else until it has been offered to the deity. To sit with one's back toward the deity. To offer obeisances to someone else in front of the deity. Not to chant proper prayers when offering obeisances to the spiritual master. To praise oneself before the deity. And to blaspheme the demigod. In the worship of the deity, these 32 offenses should be avoided. In the Varaha Purana, the following offenses are mentioned. To eat in the house of a rich man. To enter the deity's room in the dark. To worship the deity without following the regulative principles. To enter the temple without vibrating any sound. To collect food that has been seen by a dog. To break silence when offering worship to the deity. To go to the toilet during the time of worship in the deity. To offer incense without offering flowers. To worship the deity with forbidden flowers. To begin worship without having washed one's feet. To begin worship after sex. To touch a lamp, dead body, or a woman during her menstrual period. Or to put on red or bluish clothing, unwashed clothing, the clothing of others, or soiled clothing. Other offenses are to worship the deity after seeing the dead body, to pass air before the deity, to show anger before the deity, and to worship the deity just after returning from the crematorium. After eating, one should not worship the deity until one has digested his food, nor should one touch the deity or engage in any deity worship after eating safflower oil or hymn. These are also offenses. In other places, the following offenses are listed. To be against the scriptural injunctions of the Vedic literature or to disrespect within one's heart the Srimad Bhagavatam while externally falsely accepting its principles. To introduce different shastras, to chew pan and betel before the deity, to keep flowers for worship on the leaf of a castor oil plant, to worship the deity in the afternoon, to sit on the altar or to sit on the floor to worship the deity without a seat, to touch the deity with the left hand while bathing the deity, to worship the deity with a stale or used flower, to spit while worshiping the deity, to advertise one's glory while worshiping the deity, to apply tilak to one's forehead in a carved way, to enter the temple without having washed one's feet, to offer the deity fruit cooked by an uninitiated person, to worship the deity and offer bhoga to the deity within the vision of an uninitiated person or non-Vaishnava, to offer worship to the deity without worshiping Vaikuntha deities like Ganesha, to worship the deity while prospering, to refuse flowers offered to the deity, to take a vow or oath in the holy name of the Lord. If one commits any of the above offenses, one must read at least one chapter of Bhagavad Gita. This is confirmed in the Skanda Purana, Avanti Kanda. Similarly, there is another injunction stating that one who reads the 1,000 names of Vishnu can be released from all offenses. In the same Skanda Purana, Devaka Kanda, it is said that one who recites prayers to Tulsi or sells a Tulsi seed is also freed from all offenses. Similarly, one who worships the Shaligram Shila can also be released of offenses. In the Brahman Purana, it is said that one who worships Lord Vishnu, whose 4 hands bear a conch shell, disc, lotus, flower, and cloud, can be released from the above offenses. In the Adi Varaha Purana, it is said that a worshipper who has committed offenses may fast for 1 day at the holy place known as Shakarava, and then bathe in the Ganges. In the process of worshiping the deity, it is sometimes enjoined that one worship the deity within the mind. In the Padma Purana, Uttarakhanda, it is said, all persons can generally worship within the mind. The Gotamiya Tantra states, for a sannyasi who has no home, worship the deity within the mind is recommended. In the Narada Pancharatra, it is stated that by Lord Narayan that worship of the deity within the mind is called Manasa Puja. One can become free from the 4 miseries of this method. By this method, sometimes worship from the mind can be independently executed. According to the instruction of Virohatra Muni, one of the Nava Yogendras, as mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, one may worship the deity by chanting all of the mantras. 8 kinds of deities are mentioned in the Shastras, and the mental deity is one of them. In this regard, the following description is given in Brahma Vairatra Purana. In the city of Patrishthanapura, long ago, there resided a Brahmana who was poverty-stricken, but innocent and not dissatisfied. One day he heard a discourse in a assembly of Brahmanas concerning how to worship the deity in the temple. In that meeting, he also heard that the deity may be worshipped within the mind. After this incident, the Brahmana, having bathed in the Godavari river, began mentally worshipping the deity. He would wash the temple within his mind, and within his imagination, he would bring water from all the sacred rivers in a golden and silver water pot. He collected all kinds of valuable paraphernalia for worship, and he worshipped the deity very gorgeously, beginning from bathing the deity and ending with offering arati. Thus he felt great happiness. After many years had passed in this way, one day within his mind he cooked nice sweet rice with ghee to worship the deity. He placed the sweet rice on a golden dish and offered it to Lord Krishna. But he felt the sweet rice was very hot, and therefore he touched it with his finger. He immediately felt that his finger had been burned by the hot sweet rice, and thus he began to lament. When the Brahmana was in pain, Lord Vishnu and Vaikuntha began smiling, and the goddess of fortune inquired from the Lord why he was smiling. Lord Vishnu then ordered his associates to bring the Brahmana to Vaikuntha. Thus, the Brahmana attained the liberation of Samitya, the facility of living near the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vandana. Although prayers are part of the daily worship, they may be considered separately like the other items, such as hearing and chanting, and therefore separate statements are given herewith. The Lord has unlimited transcendental qualities and opulences, and one who feels influenced by the Lord's qualities in various activities offers prayers to the Lord. In this way, he becomes successful. In this connection, the following are some of the offenses to be avoided. To offer obeisances on one hand, to offer obeisances with one's body covered, to show one's back to the deity, to offer obeisances on the left side of the deity, to offer obeisances very near the deity. Dasya. There is the following statement in regard to assisting the Lord as a servant. After many, many thousands of births, when one comes to understand that he is an eternal servant of Krishna, one can deliver others from this universe. If one simply continues to think that he is an eternal servant of Krishna, even without performing any other process of devotional service, he can attain full success, or simply, by his feeling, one can perform all 9 processes of devotional service. Sakyam. In regard to worshipping the Lord as a friend, the Agastya Samhita states that a devotee engaged in performing devotional service by Shravanam and Kirtanam sometimes wants to see the Lord personally, and for this purpose he resides in the temple. Elsewhere there is a statement, O my Lord, Supreme Personality and eternal friend, although you are full of bliss and knowledge, you have become the friend of the residents of Vrindavan. How fortunate are these devotees! In this statement, the word friend, especially, used to indicate intense love. Friendship, therefore, is better than servitude. In the stage above Dasya Rasa, the devotee accepts the Supreme Personality of Godhead as friend. This is not at all astonishing, for when a devotee is pure in heart, the opulence of his worship of the deity diminishes as spontaneous love for the personality of Godhead is manifested. In this regard, Sridhar Swami mentions Sri Ramasvipra, who expressed to himself his feelings of obligation, thinking, life after life, may I be connected with Krishna in this friendly attitude. 9. Atma Nivedana. The word Atma Nivedana refers to the stage at which one has no motive other than to serve the Lord, surrenders everything to the Lord, and performs his activities only to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such a devotee is like a cow that is cared for by its master. When cared for by its master, a cow is not in anxiety over its maintenance. Such a cow is always devoted to its master, and it never acts independently, but only for the master's benefit. Some devotees, therefore, consider dedication of the body to the Lord to be Atma Nivedana, and as stated in the book known as Bhakti Viveka, sometimes dedication of the soul to the Lord is called Atma Nivedana. The best examples of Atma Nivedana are found in Bali Maharaj and Ambarish Maharaj. Atma Nivedana is also sometimes found in the behavior of Rukmini Devi at Dwarka.
Thank you so much, Shamohini Mataji, for reading all the purport. So these are the 9 processes of devotional service, and we should try to practice all of them, or at least some of them. The first 3 are most important: hearing, chanting, remembering, and the 3 are contained in Kirtana. When you chant, you hear, you're also supposed to remember also. So these 3 activities are most important. And Prabhupada said that the first 7 methods are for everyone. The 8 and 9 are for pure devotees. Develop friendship with the Lord and fully surrender Because when you become pure devotee, you can perform the other this other last two, no? So it's very, very enlightening, everything we hear from the purport by Srila Prabhupada, no? So Atmanivedana refers to stage at which one has no motive other than to serve the Lord, surrenders everything to the Lord. So like Bali Maharaj surrendered everything at the risk of disobeying his own guru, who was against him surrender. So then when Vamanadeva entered the fire yagya, ceremony, Bali Maharaj's sister was there. And when she saw Vamanadev, she felt motherly attraction. He was such a beautiful boy, so handsome, so beautiful. I wish to have him as my son so I can give him my breast milk. She felt like that, no? But when Vamanadev, with two steps, took everything away from them, she became angry at him. She thought, oh, this boy took everything from us. If I had poison, I will poison him. So these two desire to act as mother and also as enemy. That's why she next life became Putana. So she can offer breast, but at the same time offering poison. But Krishna is so kind, so merciful. He accepted only the good thing and gave her salvation. She became an assistant of Mother Yashoda in the spiritual world, no? As a mother, helper. No? So see how kind, merciful Krishna is, no? Who can be more merciful, more kind than Krishna? Who can be better master than Krishna? So knowing the truth that we are part of Krishna's eternal servant, with faith and love we should engage in chanting the holy name and offer everything to Krishna, and worship the deity at home, and do all kinds of services for the pleasure of the Lord. All these offenses we read also, very interesting, we should study them, avoid them, the best we can. So even deity in the mind, like this Brahmana, he was poor, he could not afford worshiping very opulently. But he heard that in your mind you can offer very opulent worship. So he was doing that. And at the end, he was transferred to Vaikuntha because he touched the sweet rice and the finger was burned. So he made Lord Narayan to laugh by pleasing him. So Lakshmi was asking, tell me, what are you laughing? I want to laugh with you also. He could not stop laughing, saying, bring him here. So their friend Vaikuntha took him Vaikuntha there. Like that. So he achieved perfection. In the same body he went. Whole body became spiritualized. No material body can enter Vaikuntha and become spiritual at first. So there are so many instructions, so many items. I guess you may have some comment or question about what we hear from the Bhagavatam. Please do. It's nice to have a little discussion also. So,
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
The question I have is, why do we pray to deities on our left hand side?
Okay. No, we have to offer obeisance to the deities with our left side.
Right.
That's the instruction, not with the right side. You see, when you enter the temple, everybody from his left side, he paid down obeisance to the Lord. And the reason is the left side is the side of the heart. So we are not only our body, but our heart also is, surrendered to Krishna. Do you know why Radharani always on the left side of Krishna? Of the deities, always a painting or deities, Radharani is always on the left side of Krishna. Because she is the closest person to his heart. So by paying obeisance on the left side, we are trying to be also close to Krishna, that he's on our heart. Our heart is at the left side. Can you make something I can see anything here. I can see that. Okay, I know what to do here. Okay, it's okay. Fine. Okay, now it's good. Okay, fine. Very nice question, Vamshi Gopal. Anybody has any other question, please?
I have another question, Maharaj. I still did not get what is the Bhagavata process and Pancharatriki process?
Yes, the Pancharatrika process is deity worship. For that purpose, one has to be initiated by the spiritual master and with his permission and blessing, engage in deity worship. No, that's one. And the Bhagavat process is to hear and chant, and remember Krishna. It's this process of only hearing, chanting, but both are needed. Both Prabhupada introduced both in ISKCON. That you preach, you read the books, you teach, and you go out for preaching, doing Harinam Sankirtan, but at the same time, he also introduced deity worship, hand by hand. So both should go together.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Maharaj, I have one question.
Come closer so that everybody can hear you. Trivikram also has a question.
So Maharaj, thank you for the wonderful class, Maharaj. So Maharaj, during the discussions, we talk about the spiritual body. So is there any description how the spiritual body is going to be in the scriptures? Or everyone gets similar kind of a spiritual body, or are there any different spiritual bodies?
There are different varieties of spiritual bodies. You can have even Krishna's friend, they are not all the same. They have different colors, different dress, different mood, everything different. Krishna loves variety.
In the spiritual?
Yeah, in the spiritual world. So, in Vaikuntha, not everyone has four-armed hand. That's called Swarupya Mukti. Those who don't have Swarupya Mukti, they have a body, eternal spiritual body, but not for hand, two hands. Like that. But the spiritual, the same.
Like a human?
Like a human. They get the same body, they got liberation, but younger and beautiful and spiritual, not material. Like that.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Guru Maharaj, hello, good evening.
Hare Krishna. Who's speaking, please?
Anthony,
Anthony, Hare Krishna from Los Angeles.
quick question. On during worshiping deities at home, if one is not initiated, one could still have images of Krishna and still offer ghee lamp and incense, and that's proper, correct?
Yes, we read that one should not offer incense without offering flower. If you offer incense, you have to offer flowers too. Otherwise, that's considered offense.
Okay. Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Why? Because the Shastras say. That's simple. I mean, the incense is the aroma of the earth made by person, but the flower is made by Krishna. So along with the man-made thing, you have to offer also made by Krishna things too. Speak louder. Speak with the phone so everybody can hear, because
I didn't log in.
It's okay, no need.
So Maharaj, in one of the not to do, it said that you should not worship Krishna without offering or paying respects to Vaikuntha deities like Ganesha.
That's interesting. I also noticed that it seems that there is a form of Ganesha also in Vaikuntha,
Right.
and it's considered Vishnu Tattva, no? But the other Ganesha is not Vishnu Tattva, it's Devata. So there are so many forms of the Lord in the spiritual world we don't know about. So it seems that there is a form like that in the spiritual world. That's what we can understand from what Prabhupada is saying.
So when we don't have deity of Ganesha, so we can just mentally offer it to all the Vaikuntha deities. And then...
Yeah, of course. I mean, mentally, is allowed to worship the Lord in this way. Prabhupada never gave permission to devotee to worship Lord Ganesha.
Right.
One devotee asked permission. Prabhupada said, I only give permission if you can give me $100,000 every month. Devotee did it a couple months, he could not continue. Anyway, although it is mentioned in Nectar of Devotion, but Prabhupada never gave permission for that. We respect all devata, we shall never disrespect them, of course. I mean to say. Lord Ganesha, he also worshipped Lord Nrsimhadev. So if you worship Nrsimhadev, you're also pleasing Ganesh. Ganesha was writing Mahabharata while Vyasadeva was dictating to him. So he's self-realized personality, very great, powerful personality. It takes away the material impediments, the progress of life. That's why you see Ganesha and the entrance of the temple and any ceremony, first Ganesha, you know. But this is for material benefit. That's why in ISKCON we do respect Ganesh, of course, he's a great devotee of the Lord, but we don't worship Ganesh, we worship Nrsimha. He also takes away all the material and spiritual impediment in our progress, like that. All right, any last question? Yes.
Should we offer the flower? If the flower should be offered to our Guru, Srila Prabhupada and the deity always, that should be the minimum standard.
Mataji is asking if we want to offer flower to the deity, should offer it first to the Guru, to Prabhupada, then to the deities. There are different ways of offering the deities, no? One method is you go gradually to Guru, Prabhupada, Parampara, and to the deities. Another method is first you ask permission from the Guru by offering some flower to the Guru, some prayer. There is mantra in the book of deity worship, how to do that. And with the permission of the Guru, you start worshipping first Radha Krishna, then other deities, then Nityananda, Lord Chaitanya, Nityananda. That's the descending process, you know, that the first worship shall be offered to Krishna with the permission and blessing of the Guru. It's not that you do it passing over the Guru. No, with his blessing and permission, you do it. Because remember, the Rajasuya Yagya, the first worship was offered to Krishna. And that's the way, you know, that's a process also that authorized in deity worship too, you know. So I've seen different temples, they do it one way or the other, you know. I hope that clarify your doubt, Harish. Very good. So tomorrow we are gonna discuss about
Shabari.
Shabari. Yes, tomorrow we're gonna. Everybody hear the audio I asked to share with the congregation about Shabari. Okay, I'm gonna send it again to Shah Mohini Mataji, and she can share it with the congregation. Everybody, nobody received it?
I think Bhakti Prabhu shared it actually.
No, I shared it, Maharaj.
Anandandan Prabhu shared it.
I shared it in the.
Vrindavan shared it.
Oh, and then, okay, one of
Anandandan.
them. Okay,
Okay,
Yeah, we
please
got
hear,
it. We got it, Maharaj.
we got it. Yeah.
okay, please hear it so you can know more details about the pastime. Yes. Vamshi Gopal raised his hand.
No, Praveen Prabhu raised
Not
Maharaj.
Praveen. Okay.
Dandot Pranams, Maharaj. I have one question regarding Srimad Bhagavatam. And
Yes.
when we read Bhagavad Gita, Maharaj, I have the tendency of highlighting what the portions I really like the best. Maybe write some notes on it or put things on it. And since Srimad Bhagavatam is a God, Lord Sri Krishna himself, so I'm having a hesitation to either highlight or make a note or do anything with it. I'm just, is it okay to make notes or to put sticky notes? Or I don't know. I'm really worried of doing anything with Srimad Bhagavatam. So I'm treating that one. It's like a pure, like, so I just have that question. How are we allowed to make any notes?
Yeah, very good. You can take notes, but not write them in the book itself. Write them in a separate notebook, separate paper. You can write all the things you want to remember, all details, pages, shloka, anything, but not on the book itself. You're right about that. Your feeling is correct. You should not write on the book itself. You can put a sticker to remember the page or something like that. That's okay, but not write or on the book itself.
Thank you, Maharaj.
That is also
Hare Krishna.
if we use a pencil to write, or if we underline something.
Yeah, not underline or write anything on the book. Separate, and some paper you can write.
Not highlight.
No highlighting. You put it in the paper, separate paper. It's better.
Maharaj, I have another question as well regarding the same. What is the best way of reading Srimad Bhagavatam for a newcomer? I'm a newcomer. I picked up from where we started, but I have a feeling, is it always best to start from the beginning or anywhere in between? We do every day, but I'm not sure how to get it, how to understand Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. Sorry, I'm so nervous talking over the phone. So the right way.
Yes, first one should read the Bhagavad Gita, then the Srimad Bhagavatam, and in order. Start with the first canto, then go to the second, third, like that. That's the best way to do it, in perfect order, So the first two cantos, they represent the lotus feet of the Lord. So the same way it is recommended when you go temple, see the deity, you start from the lotus feet of the Lord and go up, while seeing the other part of the body. The same thing, Bhagavatam should be started from first, second canto and then go up like that. 10th canto represent the smiling face of Krishna. So we should go from the feet up to the smiling face. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you everyone for your nice questions and attention.
Premadatri Mataji.
And please, Premadatri Mataji.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you so much for a wonderful class again. Really appreciate your association and